It's the headline from the Daily Mail. Thank you, Jesus. Headline, Daily Mail. Pink hot pants and balloon breasts. The bizarre double life of Bryon Noem. Headline, Homeland Security Secretary's husband exposed in online fetish forums. So, again, do I delight in other people suffering? Yes, I do. I do. This makes me very happy. I'm glad Kristi Noem is suffering tonight. He went under the name Jason Jackson, JJ, to talk to these fetish models. He exchanged, according to the Daily Mail, hundreds of messages with specifically 3 bimbos, professional bimbos, online. And because he's so intelligent, he shared videos of himself walking around like a bimbo. The Daily Mail called him to get a response. And according to the Daily Mail, he said, to his credit, yeah, that's me. Didn't deny it. Didn't call it AI. No remorse. Makes me kind of like him in a way. I mean, he should have, if he's a decent guy, he would have divorced Kristi Noem after she killed Cricket. You killed our puppy and the goat in front of our daughter? I'm out of here. Donald Trump. Now, you know he's enjoying this. And he knew about it. I'll get to that in a second. So as usual, he played dumb. He was asked about it on Wednesday. You know, I hate Donald Trump, but sometimes he's kind of funny. He went, they confirmed it? Like, what, Bryon Noem told the Daily Mail it's true. He goes, wow, well, I feel badly for the family if that's the case. That's too bad. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything about it. That's too bad, but I just don't know anything about it. Of course not. There were no rumors. Same way you didn't know who David Duke was when he endorsed you. Kristi Noem didn't know about it. Had no idea. She said, I'm blindsided by this. So there are explicit texts that Bryon Noem wrote where he says he loves ridiculous breast enhancements. Not breast enhancements, ridiculous breast enhancements. He is turned on by women who inject freakishly large amounts of saline into their busts to the point where it's lethal, which is also a form of sadism on his part, because that's women disfiguring themselves, and that also turns him on. Spent tens of thousands of dollars paying models to pose for him while he prayed. That's what I figure. He kept telling these women, I got to get right with God. And he'd go dark for a couple of weeks, but a fetish is a fetish. So, this may be the greatest day of my life. Just when you think you've seen everything and heard everything, there is a God. There is a God. And he's vengeful. Is it against the law? No. I don't believe God is vengeful, by the way. I think people sometimes get what they deserve. And God kind of steps out of the way. Did Bryon Noem break the law? No. Is he ashamed of this? No. Kind of like Ernst Röhm. And that didn't end well for, if you're going to do this stuff, be ashamed. Let people think, oh, you have compromise on me. It didn't end well for Ernst Röhm. How do the FBI background checks miss Bryon Noem's fetish? The FBI is supposed to be checking on this when they do their background checks for Kristi Noem. Why? Well, Homeland Security Secretary is dealing with Homeland Security. And she'd be embarrassed by this, and that makes her vulnerable to blackmail. She was disqualified. If anybody knew about her, it's unfortunate because he's not ashamed of it. He's not hurting anybody. But this disqualifies Kristi Noem from being Secretary of Homeland Security because it's compromise. A CIA expert was quoted somewhere, I don't know where I read this, but he says this makes the Noems textbook blackmail targets. Okay. So you know about Corey Lewandowski. I've been over this. That is Kristi Noem's husband. He's not hurting anybody. That's the tight corset. Those are the pink hot pants and the balloon breasts. That is bimbofication. It's what he finds attractive. It's what he wants to see. It's the dollification of women and himself. It explains why Kristi Noem is Ice Barbie. My husband doesn't love me. Suppose I dress this way and look this way. Maybe then she knew about it. She wasn't blind. Another one of her lies. So we do know about her alleged affair and her broken marriage. It's, as they say, the worst kept secret in Washington, D.C. In fact, one of the fetish models last year, at least she told the Daily Mail this, she said, hey, what's going on with your wife? And Corey Lewandowski, and he goes, yeah, I know, there's nothing I can do about it. Wow. So Kristi Noem was allegedly cheating with Corey Lewandowski, either because of Bryon Noem's obsession with bimbofication, and he got more into the bimbofication, apparently, because she was cheating with Corey Lewandowski. You don't need to be Sigmund Freud to understand why he was posting photos of himself in tight crop tops, balloon breasts, pink hot pants. He was humiliating himself, to hurt her. I'm going to hurt myself, but also hurt you. Giant balloon breasts. And he would position the knots of the balloon under his shirt to mimic protruding nipples, the balloon knot. I've heard that balloon knots mimic another part of the body, not protruding nipples. Jason Jackson, and so he said to the Daily Mail, that's me, like, you got nothing on me, I'm not ashamed of it. But he went under the name Jason Jackson. So he knew he didn't want to be found out, but he didn't put a bag over his head. That's, again, him with the duck lips. I mean, he did this to hurt Kristi Noem. Hundreds and hundreds of messages, $25,000 reportedly, to chat with 3 models. He said, and it's quoted in the Daily Mail, "I love huge, huge, ridiculous boobs." Yeah, he married one. In his chats, he would allude to his marriage to a, quote, high-ranking government official. So he did this to hurt Kristi. She was hurting him with Corey Lewandowski. He hurt himself to hurt Kristi Noem. And when he was busted, pardon the pun, he got busted. He didn't deny it. Again, one of the models told the Daily Mail, I asked him about his wife's affair with Corey Lewandowski, and the model says that Bryon Noem said to her, I know she's cheating on me. There's nothing I can do about it. Really? Maybe stop dressing like an extra from Showgirls? Maybe that might get Kristi to come back to you? White House insiders are claiming Kristi herself had told people about her husband's cross-dressing last year. And she used it to justify her relationship with Lewandowski. That is what people are saying inside the White House. When she was asked about being so close to Corey Lewandowski, she said, I have to do this. My husband's a cross-dresser. Some Trump insiders, they're very sweet and gentle people. They're saying that Kristi Noem's husband is either gay or has a cuck fetish, that he's into being cuckolded. Well, if he's into being cucked, then he would be happy that she's with Corey Lewandowski, and he wouldn't punish his wife by dressing like a bimbo. So I don't think he has a cuck fetish. But cuck is the worst thing you can call someone. In MAGA world, the worst thing you can call somebody is a cuck. One source who went hunting with Kristi Noem claimed it had been known for a long time that there was a breakdown in the couple's sex life. One White House official said they were aware that Bryon Noem liked to cross-dress, but they didn't think he'd be so reckless. Okay. Again, he's not hurting anybody other than himself and his wife. There's nothing wrong. Nobody's getting hurt. Nothing wrong. But they're Republicans, and they judge others. As governor in May of 2023, Kristi Noem called for a ban on drag shows at all public university campuses. She's against drag shows, which is really going to be too bad because Kristi Noem is going to be the #1 costume at this year's Halloween parade in West Hollywood. I'm thinking of becoming a cross-dresser just so I could go as Kristi Noem. There's Kristi Noem. That's her with a rifle. I guess guns really are a penis substitute. She says that drag performances on taxpayer-funded property should not be celebrated. There's nothing to celebrate. Well, she's never been to a good drag show. A drag queen from the Black Hills Pride Festival. Wow. That's to be a drag queen in the Dakotas. That's what courage is. A drag queen from the Black Hills Pride Festival invited Kristi Noem to a show to educate Kristi about drag queens. Kristi Noem never accepted the invitation. She didn't need any education about cross-dressers. She was married to one. She signed HB 1080 3 years ago when she was governor, which banned puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries for transgender minors. She opposes transgender rights, including banning transgender athletes from high school sports and college sports. When she ran for governor in 2018, she promised to sign a transgender bathroom bill. She said boys should use boy bathrooms, girls should use girl bathrooms. Well, the South Dakota House passed a bill banning transgender students from school restrooms, locker rooms, and she was all excited about signing the bill. She said, I can't wait to sign this. It stalled in the Senate, so it didn't get signed. But when she became director of Homeland Security in February 2025, she ordered all Department of Homeland Security employees to recognize, quote, there are only two immutable biological sexes. She doesn't prefer pronouns. She told DHS staffers to erase your pronouns. And again, on Wednesday, Kristi Noem's spokesperson said Kristi had no idea about her husband, and she is devastated by the revelations. Kristi Noem's representative said the family, blindsided by the article in the Daily Mail, had no idea. This is the woman who, up until the first week of March, was our director of Homeland Security. Had no idea her husband was a cross-dresser. Remember last Easter, she lost that Louis Vuitton bag with $4,000 in it? Remember I reported about that Santa's bag of sex toys that she left behind on a Coast Guard plane that Corey Lewandowski freaked out over and fired the pilot because Kristi Noem forgot to bring, she left her Santa's bag filled with adult sex toys on the plane. Remember I spent 4 hours talking about that? She did make no attempt to officially deny that her husband is a crossdresser. Well, Corey Lewandowski is speaking for her. He was asked by reporters to comment, and he just said, we're asking for your prayers. Well, you got my prayers, and they came true.